Hey, good morning. It's me, Vicky Marie, with a coffee this morning. So I'm just popping on here before I start work to give you some, not exactly updates, but some news about Samantha Murphy that you may not know about. So, we're following this case of Samantha. Samantha is a 51-year-old mother of three children who has gone missing in Ballarat in Australia after leaving to go on a run, not last Sunday, but the Sunday before. So I think we're in 11 days now that Samantha has not been heard of. And initially, the police were exploring all options. There's been extensive searches going on in the trail that she went, supposedly was a routine of going running on. So that's where she's thought to have gone. That morning, she left the house at about approximately 7:30, and was supposed to be back for a family brunch at 11 and just did not come back. So the searchers have turned up nothing. The police have been, as they should be, played their cards close to their chest. They're saying all options are being explored. They're not ruling anything out, etc. But they did go as far, and we're going to see the video of the press conference where I don't know if it was yesterday. I do get mixed up with the days because they're different days to where I am. I live in Spain, so the days are slightly different. But a lot of people that I want to say thank you to the people that have come on to my channel and said thank you for covering this, because the thing is, this case, any of these type of cases where women go missing just doing something routine, wherever it is in the world, for any of us who go take our dogs for walks or go running or go walking in the countryside, etc., wherever you live, this is relevant. We're all hoping and praying, it feels like it would be a miracle now, but by some miracle, that it's still not beyond the realms of possibility that Samantha might be found safe and well. Now, there has been a very sad development, because one of her dogs, or one of her family dogs, Ruby, did escape. And I just want to read out the news, a news article. So her 3-year-old Vizsla named Ruby went missing and has unfortunately suffered an accident, been hit by a car, and has had to be euthanized. So that's so terribly sad, especially for the family that are already, going through such torment. So, my thoughts go out to them. We all know where not many of us don't know where it's like to lose a pet, and how awful that is. So that's a very, very, it's so sad. I'm just going to show you, we'll read this article together. So yeah, the family of this is the Australian Mail. The family of missing mum Samantha Murphy have been dealt yet another cruel blow with the death of her beloved dog Ruby. So the 3-year-old Vizsla breed escaped from the family home just off Eureka Street in East Ballarat, northwest of Melbourne, sometime on Thursday. And actually 2 of the dogs escaped, but 1 came back. So she vanished from the home 4 days after. So here's Sam with her husband Mick in happier times. So Ruby vanished from the home 4 days after Samantha disappeared. Now, somebody was saying on one of the comments or on the Facebook groups, or I read somewhere, that these dogs, because I don't know much about these breed, but apparently they're hunting dogs, and they would get, if that dog was especially close to Sam, they do get separation anxiety, apparently. So the dog could have, gone out looking for Sam, probably. Oh, it's just so sad. I'm so sorry for this family for losing their dog at a time when they're looking for Samantha especially. So yeah, apparently she was on a planned jog to the nearby Wuwukarung Regional Park. It was a jog that it was a route that she took regularly. So that's led to, although the newspapers, etc., telling everybody not to speculate, they're all speculating. And some of the speculation has been she may have been stalked, she may have been targeted. There was a woman attacked on that trail a year before. There was another woman said that her and her partner had seen a strange man wandering around just the day before, I think, because they'd actually seen Samantha on her jog on the Saturday before she disappeared on the Sunday. And here's the little dog, Ruby. That's so sad. And this was when Ruby was a puppy, and she did go missing once before, years before, and there were, Samantha had found her through Facebook anyway. Okay, so I wanted to give you an update. I do have a couple of little news items to show you, some of which give you some of the footage, gives you an insight into how difficult it's been to search the area, because the area where she's gone missing is a little bit like looking for a needle in a haystack. But having said that, the police have scaled down their search of the area, which makes you wonder, because she did have an Apple Watch on. Her phone has pinged at a mass, but we've not really been given the full details of that. But they've got stuff to work with, and I presume they're working with that, keeping their cards close to their chest. But the actual search has been scaled down, but they have told the public that they can carry on searching if they want to, but there's no more organised searches, which is interesting. And then, of course, the main Facebook group was closed down by the administrator, saying it had served its purpose, which, as it was called, Find Samantha Murphy, was patently not true. It had not served its purpose, because Samantha, unfortunately, has not been found yet. So that was another mystery. So there's a couple of mysteries, but anyway, there's probably all sorts going on behind the scenes. But just to let us let's just have a look at this news report.
It is every family's, every community's worst nightmare. 10 days ago, 51-year-old mother of 3, Samantha Murphy, left her home in the morning to go for her regular run in the trails in the dense bush and parkland east of Ballarat, 100 kilometers west of Melbourne.
So it is very dense, but there are trails, of course, and Samantha, being a regular user of these trails, she would have, I personally think it's very unlikely that she fell into a mine shaft or went off the trail, unless somebody did say maybe something made her go off the trail, like that she could have seen a snake or a wild animal or even a person. She could have been running away from someone. To me, that's the only thing that would have made her go off the trail, because she used these trails frequently. She would have known exactly what her route was. And that creates as well this wonderment, if you like. Is that true that somebody could have stalked her if she had a regular routine, a regular route that she followed? And any of you out there, men or women, who do go running on you should vary your route, you should vary your time, not let somebody pick up a pattern of what you're doing, because it can be dangerous, because there are some strange people out there. We can't pretend there isn't. And of course, the other case that we're following, that of Rachel Marin, whose killer still hasn't been found, it's come out recently. The sheriff's department did admit that there was a man, the suspect, the that they've now released a photo of it. They think he was there waiting. Now, he may have seen Rachel on several occasions, taking that walk. He may have been waiting for anyone to come along, or he may have been waiting especially for Rachel, and we won't find that out until he is apprehended, I suppose. So, yeah, just a little aside, if you are, because we shouldn't stop walking in the woods or stop enjoying things that we enjoyed before just because of twonks like this. But we have to always bear in mind our safety. So varying your route, varying the time of your route, taking an alarm with you, a rape alarm, or if you're in a country where you can get pepper spray, or even a little hairspray probably would do it, wouldn't it? And one of those travel hairsprays. I'm sure that wouldn't be nice if you sprayed it in someone's face. Just, try and protect yourself as much as possible. Personally, when I'm walking in the campo, I always take a walking stick, not because I need a walking stick to walk, but just it's a dual purpose, just in case my dog's getting a fight with other dogs as well, because of course those kind of things can happen. And just in case, any twonk, whether I'd use it or not, I don't know. But yeah, take your phone, of course, take a bottle of water, all these things. And it's difficult, I think, running with water. You'd have to have a little backpack on, wouldn't you? But you can't carry too much water because that would make it more difficult to run. So, all these things that we have to take into consideration. I suppose you could take a packet of energy sweets with you, just in case, because at the end of the day, if you did trip and fall and you had to wait for someone to come and rescue you, if you've got some, I don't know, Lucozade sweets or glucose sweets, the sort I mean, and they're not heavy to carry. I'm talking about things that aren't heavy to carry. You don't want to go running with a load of stuff, do you? Because that just ruins the sort of enjoyment of it. Anyway, let's carry it. So this is ABC News, I think, or anyway, it's Australian news.
Then she disappeared.
We do hold significant concerns in relation to her welfare, and particularly as the days go on.
Hundreds of state emergency services members and community volunteers have scoured the landscape.
And I just want to say, because everybody's been saying how hot it has been, but look at the clothes that these rescue people have got on. They must be so hot. I mean, a lot of them have got hats on, but fancy having to wear all that and go out and search for somebody. So, hats off to them, if you like, if you pardon the pun. So, well done going out in all that in the blistering heat that apparently it is, because a lot of them are volunteers.
And have so far turned up nothing. A week and a half after Samantha Murphy went missing, there are no leads.
Maybe people they want to know, like everybody wants to know something.
Just sort of mysterious, very mysterious, that one, who knows?
Her family is desperate for answers.
People just don't vanish into thin air. Someone's got to know something.
So this was the press conference that Mick, her husband, and Jess, her oldest daughter, spoke. And it was very distressing to see Jess so upset.
Whether it be any little thing that you might think's relevant, just call the police, let them know.
Mum's a really strong woman and she's far too determined to give up this fight. I know she's out there somewhere.
The case has captivated Victoria, but despite extensive media coverage, there have been few new developments since Samantha Murphy was reported missing. Former homicide detective Charlie Bazzina has worked on some of...
Yeah, so this is Charlie Bazzina, who's a former detective. He, what I think of Mark Williams' twonk, because he's always police bashing, saying what the police should have done, as if only he knows what the police should do. I don't think Charlie does this sort of thing. Charlie's just giving his professional opinion. And this is what he's got to say about it all.
Of Victoria's highest profile criminal cases.
Every day that goes past, it becomes a lot more difficult. Trying to establish a reason for her absence. Why, as a respectable mother of three, who appears to be in a loving relationship at home, has inexplicably disappeared without any reason.
So far, there are only shreds of evidence to work with. This is the last image of Samantha, captured on CCTV outside her home at around 7 a.m. on the morning she disappeared. It's understood a mobile tower picked up a signal from her phone, but police haven't confirmed where or when. Samantha's home is surrounded by a large regional park and tree plantations.
This landscape's been described as rugged, but as you can see, it's not inaccessible. Anybody could have gone anywhere around here off these trails. And if they got into trouble and fell over, it would be pretty tough to see them.
But as I say, I don't think she would have gone off the trail unless she was chased off the trail, or maybe saw a snake, maybe, unless there was a reason for it. I don't think she will have gone off the trail. She may have gone what needed, a wee or whatever, I suppose. It's not, she may have gone off the trail, but I just think for someone who's knows that there are mine shafts, she knows that area like the back of her hand, probably. And I don't think she would take a chance unless there was a reason for it.
Recent days, the official search for Samantha has been scaled back, a move that raised eyebrows in Ballarat.
To come out so early in the piece to say, well, we've scaled it back down, it's unusual in itself, because if she is laying injured in the bush, if she has tumbled into a mine shaft, it's all about welfare, and each day is crucial to find.
So this really makes me feel like the police have more information, because, I agree completely, and, he would know. They would not scale it back unless there was a reason for scaling it back, because it's not that far. I mean, 10, 11 days is a long time, but still, if she was out there somewhere, she would still be alive, likely to still be alive, even if she didn't have any water. I don't know at what point you would start thinking, well, it's impossible that she's out there still alive somewhere. But, so for them to be scaling it back so early, as he says, if it had been a month gone by, maybe you could understand it more. But to me, that means that they're taking a different direction for a reason. They'll have reasons for it, whatever those reasons are. We don't know yet.
If she is in that particular area. Then you start building up a picture of Samantha, about her. What was she like? Was she ill? And you go where the evidence takes you.
One of the most significant pieces of evidence is the so-called ping from Samantha's phone on a mobile tower on the day she disappeared. But there are limits to how much that can tell police.
Generally, as we move out into regional areas, the mobile towers are set up to provide as much coverage as possible. And so we're talking from several kilometres, possibly out to 10 or more kilometres from a mobile tower.
In many parts of Australia, a ping only indicates the phone was within a large area, sometimes up to hundreds of square kilometres. A single tower can't provide a precise location.
Yeah, because I think what we have to remember as well is Australia is different from Spain or America or Britain, which Britain is such a tiny country, in itself. But we're talking about vast expanses here and probably not many towers in these rural areas. But, there's a lot to take into account, isn't there?
What we see in the movies where they're able to triangulate, exact locations of devices or people really relies upon having a number of towers that cover a particular area. And really in regional or remote Australia, sometimes we have gaps between the towers, depending upon, where we are.
There are complications to the parks around Ballarat, something mining consultant Peter.
Yeah, so each place, if you like, not only each country, but then within a country like Australia or America, huge countries, each area has its own problems, doesn't it? Or its own, some areas like the big cities, they'll have loads of masts, and as the gentleman was saying, it's so much easier then to actually pinpoint someone's position because they're pinging off maybe 3 or 4 masts. But when it's only pinging on one mast, then you've got a big circumference area around it. It doesn't pinpoint where the phone pings from. And I just wanted to add that I did read in one of the earlier, I seem to be saying now that the police aren't saying when it was, but I think I've read on several in several articles, etc., that it was around about 5:30 that evening that the phone pinged. So quite a long time afterwards. Bearing in mind that she went missing she went off for a jog round about 7:30. So, what's significant about that? That the phone, if it's true, that the phone didn't ping until 5:30.
Darvaniza knows well.
The city is here and Walkerung Regional Park is out here.
In the parks where Samantha usually ran, there are old, disused mine shafts.
There are some in Walkerung.
He's been in the region for more than 3 decades. He's never seen anything like the community search now going on for Samantha.
And what have you been seeing around here? There's a lot of people driving and sort of stopping and looking. I mean, what sort of thing?
Yes, there's significantly greater population of walkers, cyclists, motorbike people, cars. It's extremely busy. It's usually very quiet in this area, but at the moment it's very, very busy. Parts of this area were pine plantations.
There's been speculation that perhaps Samantha fell into a disused mine shaft. Peter Darvaniza thinks that's unlikely.
So this is typical of what you might see, but there aren't many shafts that are as deep as that. But parks have either filled them in or grated them.
Each day the community continues its search is a pain. It is every family's,
to provide as much coverage
that usually ran. There are old, disused mine shafts.
I thought that right at the beginning. Surely, because this park where she's gone missing, we looked at the website of it, didn't we? And it was, there were dog walkers going there. It was family friendly, etc. Just thought there's no way that there's just going to be, mine shafts. Certainly not on the trail anyway, that anyone could fall into. So there, of course, they'll have been signposted, filled in, put a grate over, whatever they do with them. Now, whether in the bush, like more in off the trails, there are unmarked mine shafts, possibly. But I personally think it's very unlikely she'll have fallen into a mine shaft.
There are some in Walkerung.
He's been in the region, like the community search now going on for Samantha.
And what have you been seeing around here? There's a lot of people driving and sort of stopping and looking. I mean, what sort of thing?
Yes, there's significantly greater population of walkers, cyclists, motorbike people, cars. It's extremely busy. It's usually very quiet in this area, but at the moment it's very, very busy. Parts of this area were pine plantations.
There's been speculation that perhaps Samantha fell into a disused mine shaft. Peter Darvaniza thinks that's unlikely.
So this is typical of what you might see, but there aren't many shafts that are as deep as that. But parks have either filled them in or grated them.
Each day the community continues its search is a painful reminder for Sissy Austin.
My mind is, kind of a lot thinking about.
So this is the young girl who was attacked a year ago, and the person who attacked her and left her with very bad injuries on her face, hit her in the face with a rock attached to a stick, apparently, he's never been caught. So, that's very scary.
At what Sam could be going through or may have gone through. So, yeah, my mind's been drifting in all different places with the lead up to the anniversary of my, attack. So, yeah, it's been quite jarring.
A year ago, while running in a state forest near Ballarat, she was brutally assaulted. Her attacker was never found.
I don't think it's unreasonable that the community's 100% on edge, especially the running community. But everyone's out here. It's kind of an eerie feeling out here. But, those who are searching it, checking in on each other as we kind of walk past each other or drive past each other.
2 women runners, one attacked, one missing. Sissy Austin says police have not contacted her since Samantha's disappearance.
I'd be looking at the investigation file. Where did the detectives on that stage go to? Did they have suspects? Let's start re-interviewing these suspects. Let's get them alibi.
Investigators are asking the community for anything they can get, from dash cam footage to eyewitness sightings. But the Victoria Police Missing Persons Unit didn't take over the case for nearly a week.
A mother of 3 gone missing inexplicably. I would expect.
Now, I've got to say here that the guy that we're going to look at speaking in a minute, who's in charge of the investigation, Sean, I think it's Sean Patton, he says that the missing persons department was involved from day one. So I'm just saying that that's what he says, but who knows?
The missing persons detectives to be on the ground on the Monday, the very next day, because that's what's so crucial. Now, if that were the case, bravo to them. But if it's not the case, then they're paying the price of doing catch-up football.
But Charlie Bazina hopes police aren't paying that price and that they will soon have answers.
Us from the outside looking in, they may have different ideas. I don't know. So hopefully they do have ideas. And
yeah, so at least he's saying that. We don't, we sometimes get with Mark Williams Thomas saying what they should be doing, and he doesn't even know if they're doing it or not, because the police can't comment. So at least Charlie is saying, they may be doing that. So I think, as you know, I don't like it when ex-police people come on and criticize what the police are doing now, because when they were police, they wouldn't have liked it. Suddenly they start to become police bashing for whatever reason, for motives of their own, I think. If they've left under a bad smell or whatever, then there's reasons for it. So I don't think we're seeing that with Charlie. I think he's just saying as it is and saying, because he knows, because anyone who's in the police will know that you can't just go around saying, oh, yeah, we're doing this, we're doing that. You've got to keep your cards close to your chest until you're ready to, make an arrest or make a statement or do whatever.
they are going down a certain path.
Yeah, the thing is, we all want news, don't we? We all want news, of course, because we all want to know what's happened to Samantha. Not for a bad not for a bad reason. Most people are genuinely concerned. Of course they are. When someone goes missing like that, in a mysterious circumstances, and a mother of 3, because wherever this person is in the world, we can relate to that person. So of course people are concerned and they want to know what's going on. That's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, it's concern. Anyway, so we're going to look at one more news item. We'll see what happens today. I think it probably is nighttime in Australia at the moment. But by tonight, we may know some more. Who knows?
Missing Ballarat mum Samantha Murphy has taken a turn, with the Chief Commissioner airing his suspicions for the first time. Cassie Zervos is tracking tonight's developments, and Cassie, there's been a shift in the investigation.
Mitch, the baffling case has stumped even our most senior police officer. Shane Patton says he's now suspicious of the circumstances of Samantha Murphy's disappearance 10 days after she vanished. The meticulous search for Samantha Murphy has left police with few clues, but investigators are now unable to rule out the possibility she met with foul play.
We keep saying it's not suspicious, but when someone's been missing for this period of time, we have no trace. Well, clearly.
Sorry, so apologies, it's not Sean, it's Shane Patton. So he's the police commissioner, and he came out and just gave a brief press conference. I think it was yesterday.
There must be some suspicions there.
The mother of three left her Ballarat East home for a run 10 days ago, but never returned.
It's certainly unusual when we haven't been able to locate any trace of her or any other evidence.
Detectives from the Missing Persons Squad, a specialised unit that probes suspicious disappearances, is leading the investigation, working behind the scenes to analyse hours of security footage, public tip-offs and mobile phone data.
Obviously, the missing person's involved. It's suspicious. Whether that means there's foul play involved or not. I have heard some veiled criticism. I do want to say they've been involved since the start. We knew this had the potential to be a...
So he's talking about the missing persons unit there. That's where he said he's heard some veiled criticism, but he says the missing person unit has been involved from the start.
Significant and prolonged investigation when we couldn't find any trace of Samantha early on.
Victoria's top cop with a final plea.
I would urge people not to speculate on what has or hasn't happened.
Cassie Zervos, 7 News.
Hello. There we go. That's a bit of a sad update about Ruby the dog. Very sad, and that will have caused more anguish, of course, to the family, which is all they need at the moment, really, isn't it? Those poor girls. But I will always, any news, I will be keep you updated and still carry on saying prayers, which reminds me, because there's a few cases, aren't there, that we're looking at the moment. Obviously, Rachel Marin over in America, that we sadly know what happened to Rachel, but the prayers for that is that the perpetrator finally gets apprehended. And now we've got the case of Ana in Madrid, the Colombian girl who's gone missing, Colombian woman who's gone missing under mysterious circumstances. Somebody spray painted the CCTV in her apartment so that they couldn't be seen. Well, we presume it was them who did it. It's a man with a helmet on, only showing their eyes, came and sprayed the CCTV so they couldn't be seen. And we're presuming that is to do with Anna's disappearance. Also, strange text messages have been sent. So I'm keeping my eye on that as well. And any news, I will let you know. But in the meantime, have a brilliant day. Remember to live and love wisely, carefully. Always think safety. So as I say, I'm not saying don't go on these walks, don't go running, don't, do these things, but always have your safety first in mind. And I will see you really soon in the next video. And until then, may your God go with you. Bye.